Okay, those don't have the physical copy one, you can download the revision document on the canvas. You open the chapter one, the 4 revision form, and you find a place to write your answer lah. Okay. Let's go to question 1. Chapter 1 is more about the models, right? So again, these 4 lines of learning outcome is very important. It will be the guidelines how you set the question or in the. So question 1 will always talk about methods of management or models, right? You solve problems, you know, okay? So question 2 will be on the roles and responsibilities. So we have covers 4 type of main character for this whole module. Customers, sponsor, PM, and FM. So we have 4 types of main character. So it will ask you the role and management of this one. Then the rest of the chapter 3, CL3 will be on the scheduling and cost. All right. So we talk about money, talk about projection of future value for this one. So question 3 will lots of calculation, a lot of drawing. Then number 4 is a long essay question. This one is a long essay question, but however the standard is there. I mean the template is there. All right, as long as you follow, then I will teach you how to answer the question for this one. Okay, right. So these are the way we ask the question. So today we go into chapter 1 revision. Okay, so open your chapter 1. If those come late one, you go to the canvas, you download revision question chapter 1 until chapter 4 in the canvas. Go to the reference component. Okay, go and download the chapter 1, chapter 4 review question. Okay, but I won't upload this PPT in the canvas for your info. Okay, but for your revision, I'm recording this session. Right? Okay, so chapter 1 is overview of what is project management. There's a definition for projects. There's a definition for project plus management term. There's another definition. All right, go and see the PM book and also my PowerPoint slides. Yeah. Okay, so question number 1. What is the potential benefit of effective project management? Those come late one, I already tell you the scope for your test 1. Okay, go and ask your friend. Okay, question 1. There are lots of benefit there. I just give you all the answers lah. Okay, so effective project management. What mean by okay, when you answer project management question, first you define what is the word first. Like for example, you explain what is effective project management. Is clear identification of responsibilities, right? To ensure the activities are accounted for regardless personal turnover. Personal turnover means somebody resign and not able to perform the job. Okay. So these are the benefit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So first one is if you have effective project management means you know who is responsible, who is accountable. One is what? There are 3. Responsibility, accountability, and there are 3 words in the organization chart. What is that? That's not mentioned. Accountability, responsibility, and authority. Yes. So if you have an effective project management, you are very clear of your responsibilities, authority, and accountabilities. Then you can minimize the time you need, minimize the need of continuous reporting. Means the information is sharing among the organization. So you don't need to keep asking for information. Okay. Second one, time is very important in project management. So you're able to identify the time limit in the time planning, project planning. Okay. Remember the triangular, the important triangular, time, cost, and customer requirement or performance or customer specification, the triangular, right? Then once you have the effective management, you're able to find out the method of doing trade-off analysis. So you keep seeing the trade-off analysis word from chapter 1 until chapter 4. Go and read what is trade-off analysis. Right? So trade-off means you sacrifice something. In the triangular, you have primary constraint and secondary constraint. You cannot compromise primary constraint, but you can change or you can trade off those in secondary constraint. Yeah. So those don't understand what I'm saying, go and view the recorded video in Canvas. I'm talking about this triangular. This is primary, this is secondary. Example will be the Disneyland. Okay. Then measurement of accomplishment against plan. This one also important. Why? Because we have come across a point of measurement. We have studied what is success, what is failure. There's a plan, actual, and some else. There are some point there. Okay, in chapter 1 and chapter 2, information. Okay, so there are pessimistics, there are optimistics. Okay, so we already covered this one in previous class. Okay, so this one, measurement, you're able to measure your accomplishment or actual progress against what you plan. Then, if you have an effective management, you're able to identify the problems. What is the issue when there's a delay? You're able to identify. Okay, and followed by corrective action. You give some intervention in the issues. Let's say the production of shoes slow down. There must be something happen. Either the machine or the operator or your plannings, something wrong with your plannings. Okay, so or something happened to the vendors or your raw materials. Okay. Next will be effective product management. You're able to improve and the capabilities for future planning. This one is for future. Right? You can do estimation. Knowing the objective, when objective cannot be met or cannot be success. This one allow you to make decision based on the stage gate. Very important. This one, another one. Stage gate. This is stage gate model. Okay. Each one of it have one decision. There are 4 types of decision. Okay, now I keep repeating this one. 4 types of decision. First one, proceed without changes. Second one, proceed with changes. Third one, you don't have enough information, so you hold the project and request for more information. Fourth decision will be cancel the projects. The tough decision is the last one, which is cancel the projects. So this one, when you have an effective project management, you're able to make decision very effectively. Yeah. Right. So these are the benefit of project management. Number 2, describe how to use project management methodology. This one is a whole chapter alone. Go and read the PN book. There's a 1 chapter about this one. May benefit the organization, impact, success, exceed achievement of strategic objective. So this one, I just give you the answer lah. Just give you the answer. So, what are the project management methodology? So don't confuse with question 1 and question 2. You see a difference? Although both mention about project management. Question 1 is about effective project management. Second one is the benefit of using project management methodology. Don't confuse. In the project management module we play with words most of the time. So don't mix with, don't confuse lah. Don't confuse. And then don't simply use words in your answer. So second question, it asks you about methodology. So you're able to control changes because this is methodology, means method that you use to manage the projects. So the benefit, if you use the project management method or tools, methodology means it can be tools, it can be method, it can be model, it can be approach. What is the benefit of using all these tools or all this theory? Is you're able to control changes, you're able to have a consistent approach, right? Because you want to control the process, the project. You don't want have a changes or disruption in the planning. So you want to be consistent. You want to be able to estimate the output, right? So improve quality, you should be able to improve quality. Then reduce risk and improve estimating abilities. Okay? Okay. So number 3, list of factors that commonly known as competing demand. These are the factors. I give you the all the answer. So these are the constraints or factor. Okay, that when we call it competing demand. In the market, when you manage a project, there is a supply and demand. So there is a competing demand, which means when you go and bid for projects or you go and talk to your potential customers, these are the things that you need to consider when you talk to your customers to win the projects or to sell or close the projects. First, normally in the industry, cost comes first, right? Most of the people, when you go and buy things, or your parents will ask you, right? When you request for dad or mom, I want to buy a iPhone watch, I want to buy a laptop, right? First question come out from your parent mouth is what? How much? Right? So that is the first question you will ask as a consumer. So same, when you manage a project, you must aware that it's always cost come first. Right? That's why the triangular, one of the main primary constraint is cost, time, and customer requirement. All right. So cost, number 1, schedule means the time. Okay, the time you need from start to end, how long you need to deliver the products. When you go to Shopee, you go to Lazada, you go to eBay, most of the time you look at the cost, you sort by cost. Second one, you look at the delivery date, right? How much time it's going to take you to deliver. Third one is scope. Scope means things that you can deliver. So for example, I just take construction as an example. Since we have more male participant, we talk about car. Okay, scope here. Let's say you are the automotive manufacturer. We talk about cars. You have a lot of things you can sell. Depends on the market segment you want to sell. All right. So there are a few market segments. One is a premium market segment. There are some um, um, consumer segment or saloon segment. So the cars that you sell in the premium segment and a normal saloon or customer segment will be different. The scope of your car will be different. For example, Mercedes-Benz and another one, for example, National Cars, Myvi, it will be different. Okay, it will be different. The scope will be different. The scope of your product will be different. Right? Let's say you just narrow down macro to into micro. The scope for premium car, you work in the premium car, any brands that the premium cars, you look at the leathers or the seats. Only you look at the seats, you will be different. Okay, so these are the scope, and then the quality. The quality is quality you know lah. Risk is internal issue. You have external and internal. Risk means risk, the definition for risk is the potential or the probability of failure. Risk means the probability of not able to deliver result to your customers. This is a general definition for risk. Okay, so risk, it can be you're out of capitals, you're out of raw material, you're out of logistics, supplies, and all these things that prevent you from deliver or achieving success, project success. Okay, resources. This one you know lah. Resources means your strength. When you compete with your competitor, resources can be a lot. Question 1, we talk about IPs. We talk about intellectual properties. Means technology that you learn in your companies. Right? For example, Apple's, they have a certain IPs. They have a certain technology that they learn. For example, NVIDIA. You know NVIDIA, right? The graphic cards manufacturer, right? NVIDIA, they have their own GPU technologies. They have their own technologies, right? So they are very good. Intel, they have their own processors, chip processors technologies, right? All these things. Resources, it can be expert, it can be documented, copyrights, and all these things. Okay. Of course, money is a more direct one. Resources, capitals. Okay. So these are the things that competing demands means you the one that you can you need to consider when you go for bidding. You talk to the customers. You try to win over your competitors. These are the things that you need to play around. Okay, so when you sell a product or when you work on a project, you need to do benchmarking. Means you need to take one sample or your competitors, and then you compare your own products and your competitors' products. You do analysis based on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so for your project, water rocket projects, for example, you compare costs out there. What are the normal costs of products A1, ABCs, right? You do analysis on costs. Right? When you choose a certain design, you do cost analysis. You have a Gantt chart for your projects, right? Water rocket projects. They should be a Gantt chart in your report, right? How you do your Gantt chart? There's lots of information online. You can use any format you like as long as there's a Gantt chart there. There's a project management Gantt chart there. Okay. Right. Scope, you should able to give your objective. You should able in your group, in your water rocket group project, you should able to come up with the scope of your projects. Scope evolve around customer requirement. I already give you the scope of your projects. You just elaborate on that. Okay. Quality is how you make sure is good, right? Qualities. There are tools to do the quality analysis. right? If you have time, go and study a quality tools, called House of Qualities. This one, or House of Quality. So it will look something like this. It will look like a house, and there are some parameter, there are some numbers, and then there are some final results for selection. You know which design is a good one. Okay, so it's called House of Quality. Online, you have a open access online material. There's even you can download Excel file. You just need to fill in the things. There are some calculation here. You just need to put in some numbers. The Excel file will help you to do all the calculation. Okay. Um, in the textbook that I attached in the Canvas also, if you read carefully, it will tell you how to build the house of qualities. Okay. So if you do house of quality in your EDP, for example, your report will be a bit higher. You will be scoring 3 to 4 marks higher to compare to other teams. So this is part of it lah. Risk I already mentioned, resources already mentioned. Okay. Okay, question 4. What factor may be considered to be effectively and reliably indicate successful completion of projects? So there are a lot. So for chapter 1, chapter 2, we talk about success and failure. So there are some factors you need to consider. I give you all. Okay. Now, what is project success? What is project success? Your final goal is to make customer happy. You know that the three triangular, time, cost as customer requirement. In general, as long as the customer happy, even though you do not meet time, you do not meet cost, as long as the customer say you are success, you are success. Customer, they are the deciding factor whether your project success or not. Okay, this one in the real world lah. As long as customer happy, he buy your products, means your success. So these are a few factors you can consider. The certified employee certification, satisfaction also important, because if you don't have a happy employees, your product won't be good. You have a good planning, but if your employees, your operator not happy, you forget to put in one screw in the product, that's it lah. Like for example, recently, the Chery car, Chery. You know lah. Who don't know about the the Chery cars that broke down, that separate into two. The chassis problem, not chassis lah, the body connection problems, and then the brakes problems. Gearbox problem. So these are there are something happen in the process that you won't see in the early days, but as you release your product to the market, then you will start to see, right? So all these problem is because the production process something wrong. You do not really inspect it, and then maybe the employee not very happy, so he didn't do his job. He just, for example, welding, he just do 3 spot, and then the next station. Okay, so maybe this is my guess. All right. So minimum changes to scope of work. This one we don't want to avoid changes. Once you sign the contract, start project, end project, within the start and end, you don't want to have major changes, because once you change it, you need to invest more money into it. For example, you change the design of the shoes, then you need to use a new machine or you need to import new material for that. Okay, so okay, executive recognition, this one. So recognition also important. If the executive management means the sponsors do not recognize, it will not be a successful project. Huh? Minimum conflicts, so also important. Fully operational. Add-on business, this one is the future. No disruption of operation. Number 5, organization. The organization structure itself may create internal communication barrier. This means the gap. Okay. In chapter 1, we already seen the 3 type of gap. Okay, we have 3 type of gap. This one is hierarchy gap, functional gap, and this one is island. So management gap, functional gap, operation islands. Communication barrier, chapter 1, we learn something is over the fence model. Means in early days, people wear different hat, different responsibilities. Once they change job or they change to other department, they will throw the hat to other people. They will throw the hat to other fans. Fans means department, or they will throw this hat to other people. So whoever wear the hat, it will do the work. Okay, so go and read this one. I already met this one in the chapter 1. So this gap and barrier may result conflicts. Blah blah blah. Describe some of the cause of this gap and how the gap can be this one. So this one, I think in the table, right? I give you table or what? Is it a blank or what? Blank. Okay. So this one. So this one actually already give you a direction to solve. So it asks you internal communication barrier, 1 problem. Management gap, 1 problem. Functional gap, 1 problem. Island, 1 problem. So how you solve? Okay. So these are the things that you can do. Okay. So cause means reason. The sources of the problem. Why this one happened? When you answer question in this module, you need to identify 1 reason of the problems, why it happened, then you solve it. So the problem asks you about problems. So functional groups, they have their own culture. Organization culture, this is under culture. There are 3 types of culture here. Functional groups, organization culture, business culture. Okay. Now, functional units culture. What is an example? Functional unit culture. For example, production floor culture. If you want to switch from one line to another line, production line, you need to get approval from project manager, and sometimes you need to have a good relationship with the functional managers. These are the some culture example, right? Functional culture sometimes like they will, for example, accounting, finance. Normally they have a template for you to fill in when you want to claim money. If you don't follow the template, they won't process it. These are the cultures, right? So functional, again, functional, they are very specific department. Refer to department. Organization culture, this one is a company culture. For example, if you work in a Japanese company, You heard of lots of 5S. 5S, 5S, 5S. 5S. Some of it is like if you work in a Japanese culture, early morning, if you're in a production floor, they will have morning exercise. They will ask you stretch body here and there. Before they give you briefing, they will have that culture. Then, Japanese culture also, you cannot go back if your boss still there. Some Japanese culture. And they expect you to work OT. Japanese, some those traditional Japanese company, they will expect you after your work hour, let's say 5 o'clock, they will expect you go and have drink with customers. If you're in the sales industry, you need to accompany your client, go and have a beer. Then only you can go back. Some, not all. Just give you an example, right? China company culture, they doesn't care how you do it. You deliver on time, right? So this is a bit different. Malaysia culture. I'm just giving some bad example lah. Malaysia culture. You are not guilty if you are not get caught. Means you can do anything you like, but just don't get caught lah. This is some of the bad example, right? So let's say the company say you must come to the office 8:30. So you don't get caught lah. You can come 9, you can 9 late, but you don't get caught in some of the Malaysian culture, right? And the procrastination culture. Malaysia also have this procrastination culture, means you say 1 week, but you promise you 7 days, but then at week 6, at day number 6 or 5, you say cannot lah, tak boleh. Give me some times on this one. Okay, so these are some bad culture. There are some good culture. For example, Malaysia company, we are very polite. We are very polite to people. We see people, we say hello. We treat you well. We try not to fight with you. Okay, if you want to talk about bad things, we will talk behind the door. We are like this one. So we are very polite people as a Malaysian, right? So these are the culture. When you work in different country, you need to be aware. For example, you work in a Europe company or US company, or even Singapore. I worked in Singapore before. So in Singapore, you need to be careful on the regulation and guidelines. They say one thing, you must follow. For example, smoking. If you smoke, there's a specific area, a square area, you need to stand there to smoke in Singapore. They are very follow rules one. If you don't follow, they are fine lah. There's some penalty there. Okay. Europe company, usually they are very pay attention to quality, right? Sometimes they trade off time, but they just want quality. Right? You look at the Europe car and all this, they might take some time, but the product they come out, they must be proud of it. There's some culture lah. There's some culture, right? US, they want fast and quality also, right? But US company, they always like to be number one. They always want to be a leader in that industry. So if you can do something that make you the leader in that field, then you are good. Okay. Europe company, if you are the expert of that area, then they respect you. Okay, right. For example, okay, management hierarchy, this one or this one, protection of area of responsibility. This one is they try to protect themselves, right? Like they draw a borderline. You cannot come cross this my area. Very very sensitive. Competition among managers is normal. Different priorities, unclear organization objective, failure to communicate, incorporate this one. So these are the clauses. And how you do it, minimize it, you put in the moral that you learn in the moral class, communicate, try to clarify things, right? All these things. Okay, 6 and 7, I'll give you the answer. Term of stakeholders. There are two, stakeholders and example of stakeholders. Stakeholders is fixed already, this definition. If the question asks you anything about stakeholders, you need the first line you write must write the definition of that one. So stakeholders is anyone directly involved in the projects that might affect positively or negatively as a result of the project. It's called stakeholders. Okay, fixed already this definition. Example of stakeholders. Okay, it can be PM, project team, sponsors, suppliers, end users, customers, and managers. So project manager, PM, PMO, project team means PMO. Sponsor, supplier means your vendors, your end user means your customers, right? Okay. Describe the purpose, meaning of the term management. This is a definition of project management. If you add the word management, it means application of knowledge, skill, and tools. Okay. The 5 major project management process group. Okay. Yeah. Important, Those come late one, important, This question number is very important. But if you just give me these 5 with dot, I won't mark. Again, don't write dot point form in the answer. Maybe I guess just give you effort mark, 1 mark. Able to write this 5 point. Okay. So you write number 1, this one, then you elaborate in 1 paragraph. 2, this one, then 1 paragraph. 3, executing, then explain. 4, this one, explain. 5, this one, explain. Go and read. In my slide have, and in the PM book also have. In the textbook also have. Okay? Because I don't want to make you guys boring by reading the text to you guys. Important is you understand the concept. And when you go to work, it's more on the application of what you learn in this module. Right?
And so if we explain these points, we just talk about what is initiating, right? We don't need to bring in example.
There are some key point there. You elaborate on the key point. Okay, you elaborate. Must mention the keyword, must mention. When you elaborate, must use the keyword. Okay, right. So number 8 is important for your test 1. Describe 5, at least 3 factors that might influence customer perception of project success. The triangular. Okay, these are the things that might influence. Like you you answer this question by putting yourself as a customer. What will you consider when you want to buy the products? Right? Quality, cost, right? Although cost is not here, right? So ability of the PM means the one that manage the projects, the time of reporting, reliabilities of your deliverable. This one is your output. You have input, process, and output. So you are delivering the output of products. Safety is important. This one, again, you keep seeing this one. Minimum changes to the scope when you manage projects. Minimum changes to the scope. No interruption of the workflow of the organization. So it's also important. So this one is in the customer perspective. Okay. Or there are more. There are more. Okay. So other answer also can. If the question asks you about customer perception on the project success, aesthetic appearance means the outlook, the physical outlook, whether or not you achieve the objective. The benefit means the profit and loss of the projects. Value, possible ease of use also important for consumer products. Ease of use means when you see it, you should be able to use it without looking at the operation manual. Right, very intuitive. For example, phone nowadays, if you give a kids a phone, he or she might able to open the phone or on the phone. You just play around and then that's it. Just press a button, then that's it. Okay, it must be intuitive. It must be able to ease of use, right? Okay. So 3 factors. Explain establishing the good daily working relationship. Okay, why? Explain why good relationship is important to the project success and critical responsibilities of project management. This question actually asks you the role of FM. It just testing you whether you understand what is the role and what are the things that tie to related to functional managers. The keyword here will be resources. It's a lengthy question, lengthy answer. The keyword we are looking for this question, because this question asks you about FM, functional managers, always linked to resources. Why resources fall under functional managers? So the answer will be because the PM, you as a PM, you need functional manager to provide appropriate resources, because functional manager, they are the expert in their area. They know which tools are the most effective tools to use for your projects. Okay. Again, PM, you are just there to communicate and make sure the projects delivered. All right. Ensure work performed correctly. This one, why? Because the operator is under functional managers. The workers is under functional managers. So if you do not deliver clearly, means do not communicate clearly, then the work will not perform correctly. Then you need to do correction. Means if you producing a product that not according to spec, you get reject, you need to rework. In the industry, the word rework. Rework means you need to send back to the workshop and then make correction according to the spec. Sometimes in contract, the rework is additional cost. They charge per day. Some they charge per week or per month or one lump sum of penalty. Okay, so this is a very serious thing if you do not manage carefully. Good relationship also minimize conflict. There are some things. So if the question asks you about functional managers, good relationship one, try to answer using keyword resources. Try to elaborate on conflict. These two things. Relationship sure tie with conflict. Functional managers always tie with resources. So you use these two keywords, resources and conflict. Right? So when you have a good relationship, then reduce conflict. Increase likelihood of functional manager willing to work for future project. This is also important. If we talk about relationship one, willingness to work for future project is one of the important point. Right. Explain the term integration. This is the definition of integration. This word is important for PM. If the question asks you role, the primary role of PM, you need to elaborate using integration. Integration in a layman term means you talk to all the people in the company, but you cannot talk to people in company. You cannot write in the verbal sense. You have to write in the very good grammar sentence. Okay, so integration means they are interrelated. Project manager must coordinate and integrate across the boundaries and ensure functional units communicate effectively. All right. So the keyword here is communicate. And you need to mention functional units. You need to mention boundaries and make sure the process, they are interrelated. Okay, so these are the things related to PM in planning and execution. So you'll see, when you see integration, you will see the question will tie to planning and execution. Okay. Define project roles as a functional managers and describe at least 3 challenges that functional managers may encounter in an organization that engage in management of multiple projects. Define typical roles of managers and describe at least 3 challenges. So you need to actually got four answers that are expected. One, you talk about role, and then you give 3 answers for challenges when executing the role as functional managers. It gives you a scenario, multiple projects. Okay, first, you ask yourself, what is the role of functional managers? You manage resources. When you manage resources, resources can be money, can be equipment, it can be staff, it can be IP, it can be other knowledge that you learn. Okay? So you imagine you are the FM and you have multiple projects. What is your main concern? Time. Time for what? Okay. Then?
Cost.
Huh?
Cost.
Cost. Okay. What else? You haven't mentioned one important keyword. Every time you see multiple projects, you need to give what? Priority. Mean you need to decide which one comes first, right? Let's say you have 10 machines, you have 100 projects. You need to decide what machine run first for what projects, how you plan the floor. And let's say you have 100 projects, you only have 10 scientists or 10 engineers. How you delegate, how you give which project first. Okay, so when you see the word multiple projects, you see functional managers. The keyword here is prioritization. This word. You elaborate based on that keyword. Okay, so this is a role. The answer for roles means what what is the function of the functional managers? Means you manage resources and technical expertise. You can elaborate a little bit on the resources if you want. Right? Challenges, you elaborate on when you manage the resources, what are the problems that you might face. Okay, when you see the multiple projects, link multiple projects with priorities. Means if the question asks you how you solve that problems when you have multiple projects, elaborate on priorities. Means you use the priority word, you can use prioritization, then you elaborate. So you give priorities to who? To managers and projects. Means you have lots of projects. So on the top of the project, there will be a PM there. Okay. So you see which PM have a good relationship with you, you give priority. This one also check back the previous question. He asks you why you as a PM, why you need to have a good relationship with FM. This is another type of question that we reverse the question. We try to see whether you understand the role of PM, FM, sponsor, and customer or not. We try to reverse the question. Okay, challenges might be because you manage resource, use the word limited resources. You need to give, that's why you need to give priority. Unreasonable time frame, this one we mentioned time. Internal politics also important. Because when you want to give priority, you need to consider, this one is the PM is the son of the boss. Of course, you will give priority to that PM because it's the son of the owner. You need to know some the politics inside this one. You don't want to get trouble with the owner. Okay, you make the sons of the owner happy, you will also have a happy life. Okay, this is some soft skill not inside the textbook one. Okay. All right, this one, how can PM ensure that he maintain effective collaboration relationship with sponsors and executive? Question 13 is PM with the top management. Question 12 is PM with the FM. Question 13 is PM with the sponsors relationship. Okay, so these are the things that when you manage projects, you want to make your sponsor happy, you do all these things. Before you start project, sponsor is the one who appoint you as a PM. So when the appointment happen, they will come to an interview. They will expect you to ask questions in all these areas. For example, expectation. You should able to ask question related to expectation from your sponsor. Usually it's the P&L, the first question about money. How many profit you expected? Or what is the benefit, or what is the intention of doing these projects? Okay, give you a non-common example. Some developer, they build houses because they want to have a close relationship with the royal family. I just give you an example. Not many times will happen. But some developer, they build houses to make the government happy. Why? Once they build the projects, government will give them more projects. That one is for the long-term relationship. It's happened in the business, right? So expectation, communicate is important. Like how you communicate. Communicate requirement means how long you need to report to them. Like how frequent you need to report. All right, you need to manage the expectation. All right. So like for example, you will be doing your FYP, right? So same. You look this one as your FYP application. So relation with your sponsor is also like your supervisor. This is your supervisor, right? When you maintain effective collaboration relationship with your supervisor, what you do? You talk to your supervisor, right? What is expected in your FYP, right? Well, what is your supervisor expect from you at the FYP 2 when you finish your FYP? What is the expectation? Number 2, you communicate requirements. So this one, you establish a schedule of meetings, right? Like for example, my student, for the first, let's say, 14 weeks, first week 1 until week 4, I meet them every week. So if I found that they are competent, they are good, they can do things independently, and they know the way of doing works, then start from week 4, they can be independent. They report to me every 2 weeks. Then by week maybe 8 or 7, they will just update me the results and give me sign the logbook and all these things. Okay, so this one is depend on your boss lah. Escalating procedure. This one is like how you pass information from one level to another one. All right. So you need to understand the way of communication. All right. Like for example, you submit budget. Before you submit budget, you need to what document you need or who you need to see, for example. So these are the procedure lah. For your FYP, you have to know like what form you need to fill in, by what date you are doing presentation, then by what date you need to submit something. Okay. Planning process and methodology. This one you need to do some planning for the process that you use. Methodology means tools that you need to complete the projects. Clear objective is important. Objective means the customer requirement, what actually the customer want. Okay, first one, this one and this one, don't confuse. This one is expectation from the sponsor. This one usually objective is more related to customers. Don't link the first one and the last one. Okay, number 14 is a very popular question that I like to use in the test or final exam. Cause in fact means something happened, then you solve it. So you are seeing question 14, there's a long list there. I think there's how many? 10? 8? How many? No, this table, 14. 14. Question 14. Okay. You didn't see this one?
Yeah, this the box. Each page, sir.
Oh, next page. Oh, next page. Okay. So there are some courses there. So for example, there are some 1 to 6. 1 to 6. So you can do a lot of combination of from A to O. So for example, late completion of activities. Course 1, course 2 means you can choose any 2 from here. Then you do explanation how you do it lah. So this is just an exercise of brainstorming to prepare you what happen if things happen, how you solve it. Okay. So question 14, you are free to choose any, then you think about how you solve it. Okay, 15. This one come up once in the semester test or final exam, I forget already. This one, role as an integrator or integration, the person that do integration. Coordinator, describe other roles of a PM. Other roles, the other roles. Don't confuse with the primary roles. There's a question that will ask you primary roles of PM and question like this. This is additional roles. So additional roles is accountable for success. You need to communicate with the project team and sponsors and team building, conflict manager, coach, mentor, blah, 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 all these things. Okay, 16. PM often challenged to influence FM who may have multiple projects. You see this one same as the previous one. RCU-PM, RCU-FM, and multiple projects, may force to compete with other project managers. Same organization, for resources. You see multiple projects, you see resources, you see functional managers. Usually we expect priority or prioritization keywords in your answer. You elaborate based on that keyword. Explain how project manager can improve relationship with functional managers and influence them, provide necessary resources to you. This is actually asked about what is the need of functional managers so that they will help you, what they need. Okay, so you need to sit yourself in the shoes of a FM. FM, what you do, you hold resources, right? You manage resources, and you have many projects. So you are the one who decide which one comes first, right? So imagine you are the FM, and PM come and see you. What is the expectation from this PM that make you happy, right? Some keyword there. Is also tied back to the definition of PM, or what is the main role of PM. Yeah. Listening and understanding. Listening and understanding what? Priorities of functional managers. So as we discuss more and more, you will see that we're actually repeating a few keywords. You see question asked what? You answer with something. Yeah. So this question, you see functional managers, you see multiple projects, you see FM, PM, you see resources here. So you try to understand when FM have a multiple projects, means priority is there. You elaborate lah. So how do you make sure the FM feel happy? You understand what they need, no? You communicate, no? FM. Okay, so listening and understanding is the keyword to solve this problem as a PM. Okay. So you elaborate lah. Priorities, function managers, then what else? Work environment, issue that they face. Means you try to understand what is the need of the functional managers. You elaborate lah. This one you elaborate. Okay. Relationship with PM and sponsor. This one another. There are 4 character: customer, sponsor, FM, PM. 4. So usually it's a PM to sponsor, PM to customers, PM to FM. Okay. Critical factor. It's a critical factor, means different success. Okay, why sponsor on project? What does a sponsor do? They make decision. They're the one who make decision. So what action can be taken by project PM ensure strong and supportive relationship exists between your boss and you? Same, no? The 5 things just now. Between PM and your sponsors. The first one, establish expectation and all these things. All right? You see the answer? Expectation. Okay? So when you see question mention sponsors, it will tie to decision, it will tie to expectation, all these keywords. Then you elaborate lah. Okay? Not very hard lah. This module is like playing words. You tie words together. Okay. Now this one PM Guidebook 6th edition. This one available in Canvas. Go and download if you haven't. Project. Just now we look at project management. Project management is an application of 3 things. If a project means it will have temporary endeavor, product, service, and result. Of course, there are some more detailed explanation of the project in the PowerPoint slides or in the textbook. Okay, this is just a summary. So of course, when it comes to final exam, it asks you definition. Use keyword that you find inside PN book or in my slides. Okay. How many questions for chapter 1? 24. Okay, 4 more questions. Okay. 22. Okay. So if for PMI, talent triangular, they're actually the one that I project on the screen here. We talk about technical skill, leadership skill, and business skill. 3 things. BMI triangular, talent triangular. Don't confuse this one with project success constraint triangular. This is about talent. What is the talent that they look for a leader, project manager qualities? Your technical skill, your business skill, and your leadership skill. 3. Technical. Why technical? Because you need to deal with functional managers. Leadership. Why leadership? Because you need to communicate across the company. You need to communicate with sponsor. You need to communicate with FM. Okay. Business skill. You need to control P&L, profit and loss of your projects. So you need to have a good business sense as a project manager. So make sense, huh? So these 3 things is important if you are handling a project. So back to your FYP. Of course, technical is there, right? Theory must be included in your report for your FYP final year projects. Leadership is how you manage your projects, right? How you manage your resources, how you talk to your supervisors, how you talk to your lab technician, how to talk to people that supply you the material, all these things. Then business skill, you have to understand the project that you do actually brings some commercial value or it bring benefit to the community. So choose your supervisor wisely lah. FYP actually is your resume for your job interview actually. Usually, if you go to the tech company, they will ask you, what do you do in your final year projects? So choose wisely lah, your supervisor. Right? I'll give an example. One of my student, he did a project with me on the drone, and he managed to sell himself to the Singapore companies. Micron, you know Micron? Have you heard of Micron? Yeah. MICRON, Micron. They're a semiconductor giant in the industry. He managed to enroll in the first interview, offered Singapore dollar 4,000 per month salary because he did a drone design. He able to sell himself, like he know how to talk to all these people, right? Because Micron, they are microchip, they're making chips for automation and all these things, right? So he able to relate his FYP to the job role that he worked as an engineer there. So these are the things, right? So 20 the definition, 3 obstacles, oversee them. So if a project complexity, if you see the question mentioned about complexity, what you do, you need to have a detailed scope. If you have organization structures problems, you need to have a relationship. You need to have a relationship. If you have a problem in you need to change the requirement, then you need to have a process there. Okay, need to have a process there. So at least 3 obstacles, suggestion to overcome them, and all this. Okay. Okay. So I'll give you the answer. Okay, project manager responsible for coordinating and integrating across multiple lines The integration activity performed by the PM include what? 3 keyword. If the question asks you about integration activities, 3 words: develop, execute, make changes. Okay. Integrate activity necessary to develop a plan, execute the plan, and make changes to the plan. It's 3 lah. What is the ultimate role of the sponsor? Provide behind screen support or assistance and make decision. Behind screen assistant. Okay. You only give this answer when you see the question asks you ultimate role. If the question asks you role of the sponsor, you cannot give this one. There are some explanation in the PM book and also in the PowerPoint slides. Okay, with this, we finish chapter 1 revision. We continue chapter 2 tomorrow. Okay. Have I give you the attendance? Not yet. Okay, sign your attendance before you go. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow 8 only.